Podcast. This is James, and with me is Chris.
What's up, everybody?
And today we are watching Top 5 Terrifying Cases of Alien Abduction.
Okay.
You ready to get probed?
Oh, shoot. All right, go for it.
An alien abduction is when a person believes they have been taken secretly against their will by non human entities and subject to complex physical and physiological procedures. Most of us probably think of a crazy guy who got drunk and claimed to have been abducted, but there are actually some chilling and compelling stories that could prove other forms of life have visited our planet to gather information on us humans. A very interesting and well known case is the abduction of Betty and Barney Hill. The couple were driving to their home in New Hampshire after a short vacation in Canada when they noticed a white light in the sky. Shocked at how different this was from a regular star, Barney got out of his car to look at the object through his binoculars. The light got closer and it looked like a pancake shaped object with windows that revealed occupants. Terrified of what he saw, Barney ran back into the car and travelled home. But something crazy had happened. On their arrival home, they realised they had lost a couple of hours without them realising it. Not thinking too much into it, they went to bed, but in the nights that followed, Betty started having nightmares about aliens, and Barney was suffering from severe backache, which he'd never had before. It got to the point where they both needed help, so they visited a respected psychiatrist in Boston, Massachusetts. He felt they were suffering from anxiety syndrome and put them both under hypnosis. He was convinced that they were abducted by aliens. During the hypnosis sessions, both revealed separately that they were abducted by bald aliens about 5 feet tall with green skin and large
Ooh.
heads. They said their skin, nail,
What
and hair
the?
samples were taken. Betty said they inserted a long needle into a navel, which they said was a pregnancy test, and
See,
Barney
the
had to
aliens kind of
provide a
remind me
semen
from
specimen. One aspect of
Fire in the Sky.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of. Fire.
I don't know if he's going to talk about it, but I remember there being a lot more to this. Like, her dress had something on it. I can't remember what it was, but it was
Mm.
like some kind of radioactive dust or something weird on it.
Hmm.
Like, nothing that was like could harm them, but it was enough that it was like, oh, her dress is giving off like more radiation than everything else around it, or something like that. Or there was like spots on her dress or something. I remember this. This was like a big controversial thing, of course, because they're a mixed racial couple during that
Yeah.
time, which was kind of like, of course, was frowned upon.
Y- Yeah, you wouldn't see that, yeah, at the time, yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're talking about UFO abductions. So a lot of people thought, well, yeah, of course they're lying, or something else
They're
happened to
making money.
them. I don't know about
Yeah.
making money. I think it was always something like, well, maybe they experienced some kind of crime and they had to like tell somebody about it, but the way to do it was like, oh yeah, we were abducted by UFOs or something. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like back then, like when you would come up with a story, people would believe you more. If that makes any sense? Because um, my mom was telling me like in the 78 or 79, apparently where she lived around here, there was like this lady saying that she saw Elvis after he died, and then so all the like reporters would kind of show up there, and like so it was more like people would believe shit like that. I guess I don't know.
Huh? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the lady was just crazy, you know. So I don't know.
I mean, it could have just been like an Elvis impersonator. Maybe she did see an Elvis.
Yeah, it was I don't know the way my mom describes it. The lady was kind of like it was a ghost would appear at night or something. So
Dang.
I
And
don't know.
just sing to her only, or
Yeah, I don't know if it's anything about that. But yeah, I don't know.
of
I feel
the
like stories will
investigation
come
that
up like
cannot be
that.
explained to this
So
day is that in 1963, Betty Hill drew a very detailed map of a star system that was only discovered later in 1969. She
huh?
said she was shown this map by the aliens. Astronomers at Ohio State University compared their computer generated map with the one Betty drew, and both were completely alike. But how could she have drawn this in 1963 when no one even
yeah,
knew what it looked
this
like
part
until
is interesting. I do
1969?
remember
Some skeptics
about
point
the
out the
story.
inconsistencies of this
Yeah.
story, including the aliens speaking to Betty in English while Barney said they used some sort of telepathy, but now, more than 40 years later, it has never been proved not to be a hoax.
Huh?
Yeah, that's an interesting story to be
The
honest. I always
policeman
thought this
abducted.
story was interesting. Where
Yeah.
was this at?
Uh,
Did it say in the beginning where
New
it's at? It
Hampshire.
was in. Oh, okay.
It was in the
That's an interesting
official
story.
Air Force Project Blue Book report.
Yeah, I find this one. I'm gonna say this one is true, just because I've seen it on the History Channel. I've seen it at that other show where they try to like debunk stuff. I don't know what it's called, but they couldn't debunk this one. You know,
Hmm.
this story. So
Yeah, I mean, it was a wild story. I think this is the one that, like, I would hope everyone kind of, like, knows about because it's one of the ones, like you said, it was like everything was super consistent. Couldn't
hmm
really disprove it or prove it, sort of, but they had a lot of evidence for their case. So, really interesting.
this one happened in '61, right? You said?
67?
Is it,
61,
oh,
sorry, yeah.
61. 61, yeah.
Hmm. Dang, they didn't go public with it until 1965.
When did the other one happen? The Fire in the Sky. What year was that?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. You're the one that loves it. You should remember this.
no, I like that movie, but I don't know about that.
Abduction. Philip Spencer was a policeman in London. He moved to Eichel Moor after leaving his job, and while taking some photographs of the moor, he heard a humming sound and saw a small green creature around 4 feet tall. The creature moved away quickly, and when Spencer shouted, it turned and waved an arm dismissively, which is when Spencer said he took this photograph. He was shocked and scared, but decided to follow it and saw a huge silver saucer disappearing into the clouds. He realized the humming sound was from the saucer, and the creature he saw must have been an occupant.
Just a
After this
duende.
encounter, he realized that he'd lost more than 2 hours of his time and his compass was going haywire.
Hmm.
Spencer started having weird dreams and severe anxiety. Like Betty and Barney, he was put through hypnotherapy, and during this state, he revealed a fascinating tale of being abducted by an alien.
Top
He was
5.
taken
Top
on board the
five.
craft and given a medical examination before being released. One thing that makes the researchers confident that Spencer may not have set up the whole thing was due to the fact that he never wanted publicity or money, and to this day is
Ooh.
left haunted with the experiences he faced. The
Huh.
camping abduction. In 1976, four friends in their early 20s went camping in rural Maine. The first night went well, but on the second night they noticed a very bright light in the sky, much too bright to be a star. They thought it was strange, but didn't think anything more of it. On the third night, they decided to try night fishing. Whilst in the canoe, they noticed a bright light again. One of the men used a flashlight to flash an SOS pattern at the object. The light then expanded and enveloped all four men, and that's the last thing they remember.
Huh.
They woke up back at their campsite with no recollection of what ended up happening with the light or how they got off the canoe. The fire they'd stoked up before they'd left just minutes ago, intending it to still be burning when they returned, was completely burned down to embers. Confused and pretty scared, the four returned back to their normal lives, and the possibility of an alien abduction wasn't even on their minds. Jack Weiner, one of the four, was the first to start having
Jack
nightmares.
Wiener.
In these dreams, he saw beings with long necks and large heads. He saw them examine his arms, while Jim, Chuck, and Charlie, the other three, sat on a nearby bench not able to intervene. The beings had large metallic glowing eyes with no lids, and their
Ooh.
hands were insect like with 4 fingers. The other three men were experiencing very similar dreams, with short mental
Mhm.
clips of that night on the lake. In
What's that movie with
1988, 12 years
pause it? That movie with the alien with that chick that comes out. What's that movie called? Dark Water or something like that?
The fourth kind?
No, it's like another one where the kid also starts seeing stuff. They're going after the kid, the boy.
Oh,
It's
Dark
like a
Skies.
couple.
Dark Skies.
Yeah, there we go. Dark Skies. That was a
Yeah,
good movie.
that was kind of freaked me out. That was a freaky movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Let me ask you this: do you think that the fact that all of them are kind of seeing the same kind of alien or a similar looking kind of alien, like the variations of the descriptions kind of change a little bit, but
hmm
do you think that gives them more credibility or less credibility?
I'll say less, in my opinion.
Really?
There's
That
way
that,
too many.
that they're
There's
all
too
kind of
many
seeing the
different.
same thing?
Yeah, I mean, personally, for me, like, I don't know. Like, I don't really believe in aliens as much. I kind of see it more like demons. You know,
Ah,
I don't see them as aliens really. Like, but I don't know. What do you think? You think
I don't
they're
know.
actually
I'm kind of on the
aliens out
fence
there,
about
or
that.
they're just demons from another dimension or whatever?
Uh, I don't know. I'm kind of like oddly on the fence about Alien. It's like
Because mhm,
I want to believe,
the
but
thing what's interesting, uh,
I would think that by now we would have encountered them formally. I mean, like, what's the point of them
uh,
coming down here constantly abducting people or doing weird experiments on random cows? Like, just the
yeah.
pattern of stuff doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
What is the point? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, it's very interesting. Because the Bible doesn't even talk about aliens, huh? Does it? Like in any way?
I
Like,
don't know if you get into like apologetics,
because I wonder that
they
like if they ever mention them in some sort of way or
I don't know. I don't know anything specific, but like I said,
yeah.
like
Because
if
if
you
you
get
look
into
at,
apologetics, they talk
I
about
know,
aliens, but I think they're the
I
ones that
know
believe that aliens are either
demons or something.
demons or fallen angels or there's something.
Because it's kind of weird. Like I don't, they don't talk about dinosaurs, do they either, huh? Because that would be some sort of like
They do,
reptilian alien. Oh, they do?
yeah. In
Oh, I
Job,
wonder where.
talk about
Oh, really?
leviathans, and they talk about
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
they describe some sort of creature that I think it's supposed to be like a brontosaurus or something.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, Jesus
Because
lizards.
dinosaurs, because dinosaurs wouldn't be considered aliens, would they? Not really. That's not gonna
No,
be like
because
some
they're
sort of.
they started here.
No, but what I'm saying is like maybe like an alien animal type of thing. Some of these look kind of weird,
Well, I don't know. I
but
mean, like like they say now, a lot of dinosaurs, like the consensus now is that they kind of, I'm not going to say evolved, but adapted to
mhm.
the changing uh the planet changing after the asteroid crashed in the earth. And so now like a lot of dinosaurs and things like that, they still kind of exist, like crocodiles and alligators and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
supposedly T-Rexes and velociraptors turned into chickens.
Huh.
And then
That's
the
weird.
classical idea of like, oh, a terrible thunder lizards, which is what a dinosaur is supposed to mean, they're actually birds.
Huh.
They actually didn't
Interesting.
have like scales; they had feathers. All the dinosaurs had feathers. It'd be interesting to see like a Jurassic Park version that like kind of picks up on that. And so instead of seeing a
Yeah.
bunch of dinosaurs with the lizard skin or scales or whatever, you see them with like feathers. It'd be really cool. I mean, there's
Hmm.
even some dinosaurs that look like ducks. What's the one?
Yeah.
The gosh, what's the one from like Jurassic Park 3? They really pumped it up, saying like, "Oh, it was more dangerous than the T Rex." And then like in the first scene it's in, it kills a T Rex. Can't remember
Yeah.
the name of the
Yeah. Yeah.
dinosaur, but it looks
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
gigantic duck. Like it's got like a weird beak bill.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever been to right here on the tar pits. What are they called? The tar pits, I think.
yeah,
Right
La
here in
Brea Tar
LA.
Pits. Yeah, I've been there.
Very interesting place. They have a lot of like different dinosaur bones and stuff, and a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
history there.
very cool. Yeah, they dug up all kinds of stuff from the tar pits, like because they found like a lot of saber-tooth tigers and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've been there once, and we did like the whole big tour. It was very awesome.
Yeah, because dinosaurs were here what, like how many years? According to
I think there was supposedly two sets of dinosaurs. Ones that were 65 million years ago, and then another set that was like 100 something million years ago.
wow, so that's yeah. I don't even think aliens were. Well, who knows? To be honest, who knows?
But if you don't believe that, and you believe that the Earth's only 6,000 years old, then the
Hmm.
dinosaurs weren't here for that very long.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Now they're saying that there's a planet either
Oh,
around
I saw that.
Jupiter or
Yeah,
Saturn that has a
yeah, I heard
ton
about
of
that.
oil.
Yeah,
And so they're trying to say, like, oh, okay, cool. That planet has oil. You verified it has oil. But did it ever have dinosaurs on it? Did it ever have trees or life or anything like that on it? So it's kind
yeah.
of disproving that dinosaurs and vegetation and all this other stuff turned into oil on Earth 60 million years ago.
And that came out right a couple days ago, I think, or a couple weeks ago. That news.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's continue the video, I guess.
After their camping trip, just out of curiosity, Jim Weiner attended a UFO conference hosted by Raymond
Jim
Fowler,
Weiner? What happened
a
to Jack
renowned and
Weiner?
highly reputable UFO investigator. Weiner met
Jack
Fowler afterwards
Pointer.
and revealed his strange encounter on the
Jimmy
lake.
Weiner.
Fowler suggested to Jim that he and the others undergo regressive hypnosis. After the sessions, it was revealed that all four of the men had memories of being abducted and subject to humiliating physical
And that's why pause it
examinations, including the taking of
Yeah.
for a
skin
bit.
and fluid.
See, so when I see stuff like this, I feel like these aliens didn't create us. You know what I mean? You know how like in Prometheus, like the engineers created us and stuff, or something like
Right.
that. So this makes me believe that they're not the creators. You know what I mean? Because they're like experimenting on us. If they knew us, you know what I mean? Like if they were the creators, they would have known. everything, you know.
Right.
So why? What's the point?
I don't know. I know there's like a weird, there's a couple weird theories where we are like a big experiment. You know, like
Hmm.
whatever the Anunnaki theories, like we were put on this planet by them, or we were created by them, and that maybe now they're coming back to see like how we've changed, how we've evolved, or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, how we've adapted. But I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know. I mean, but you're right though. Like, what's again? What's the point of them constantly coming here, abducting people, probing them, testing them, not being very kind about it? Like, and that's the other
Yeah.
part that people are freaked out about. Like, maybe they think we're just like cattle, or they think of us as like a lower life form, so they don't really treat us like as if we have pain or feelings or anything like that. You know? But yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird, weird case. And it's kind of weird too because aren't there some people who believe that aliens and ghosts are kind of like on the same level?
Mm, well,
Like,
aliens, I always think like demons, and then ghosts is ghosts. Like,
huh,
but that's just me. I mean,
I don't know. Like, there's some stuff where people are like, "Oh yeah, like I'm seeing ghosts and I'm experiencing this," and then it turns out that it was like aliens, or vice versa.
yeah.
Like they're having
You know,
alien kind of like vibes about stuff, and then it turns out to be a ghost.
Aliens was consistent. The four men were able to make detailed sketches of the entities, the craft, and
Oy.
the examining instruments. Chuck added that the aliens' test area
big
was similar to a
eyes.
vet's office with a silvery table. He also related a strange fact. He had much difficulty in focusing on the aliens. When he tried, he could not put an exact image to them. He compared it to trying to tune in a fuzzy radio station. After further examinations, all four of the men were deemed to be mentally stable and they all passed lie detector tests about the event.
Hmm.
The abduction of Charles and Calvin. Co-workers Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were fishing off a pier in Mississippi on an October evening. They began to hear a whirling sound and saw two flashing blue lights. A smallish oval-shaped craft appeared before them, from which emerged three pale creatures about 5 feet tall. Hickson and Parker said the creatures had carrot-like growths emerging from their nose and ears, and that in place of hands they had lobster-like claws.
Ooh.
Hickson claimed that he was inspected by a mechanical eye while on board the craft, while Parker initially stated he did not remember what happened during the event, but in an interview 20 years later, Parker had been able to remember the event and provide a detailed story of his inspection, including telepathic communication with the beings. Upon reporting the incident to the police, Hickson and Parker were questioned. They were then left in a room alone with a hidden tape recorder, which police expected would reveal the incident to be a hoax. Instead, Hickson and Parker could be heard nervously discussing the event. At one point, Parker states, "I knew all along there were people from other worlds up there. I knew all along, but I never thought this would happen to me." Now, this is an incredible story because if the man involved was abducted by aliens, to this day he may still be with them. This is the story of aspiring pilot
Oh.
Frederick Valentich. Freddie was on a training flight over Australia's Bass Strait when he radioed Melbourne's air traffic control to advise that he was being shadowed by an unidentified craft flying about 1,000 feet above him. Valentich said the craft was orbiting around his own and that it emitted a green light. He told ATC that he was suffering engine problems, and when he was asked to describe the object, he said it's not an aircraft, before the transmission was interrupted by metallic scraping sounds. At that
Ooh.
point, all contact was lost. A 4-day, 1,000-mile search was undertaken, but no trace of Valentich or his craft was ever found. Some believe that
Yeah,
Valentich
that's
had become
interesting.
disorientated, started flying low and upside down, and spotted his own lights in the reflection of the seawater, but you must argue that there would have been some sort of debris washed up on a beach. People also say his disappearance was staged, but what would be the motive
Huh.
behind staging it? Others believe that his account of the mysterious craft, bolstered by witness reports of a UFO over Australia later that night, is a strong suggestion of an alien abduction. Since he was never
Oh.
found, maybe he was taken away by the aliens and to this day is still with them. I don't know about you, but just thinking
Hmm.
about that creeps me out. So that's 5 cases of believed alien
1978. Huh.
abductions. Thanks for watching and see you in next week's video, 5 mind-blowing facts about space. Feel free to subscribe and share this with
Huh.
anyone you think may.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, aliens, I don't know, they're just demons. Like fallen angels, basically. Um,
I mean, the stuff that they do to people, it seems like, yeah, like their intentions are not great.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Because like like whatever, like Fire in the Sky and all these other ones, it's like, oh yeah, I was abducted, and then I had some kind of psycho whatever hypnosis done, and then they end up having like nightmares for the rest of their life about it. And it's like, okay,
Hmm.
so obviously that wasn't like a gentle, welcoming experience. And I feel like a lot of
Right.
these, well, I don't know, like just going through the videos real quick, but you know, they're not just talking about like the ramifications of, I guess, the psychological ramifications of what some of these people have experienced, like the Fire in the Sky guys, just
Right.
from the
Yeah.
movie. You know, like they're all traumatized. They've all been traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. I felt personally like if you were to experience something like that, I felt like you would feel like
Not just
just
that, it's just
like
like
you said,
that
traumatized.
feeling of like being violated and stuff like that. You know, like they were taken against their
Yeah.
will, and some kind of weird experiments were done on them. And like I said, like a lot of the hypnosis stuff kind of revealed that like, you know, they're just sitting there screaming their heads off because they're either in pain or something weird.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. Do I want to be
It's
abducted
crazy
by
because
aliens? Not really.
it's crazy because one of my dad's favorite movie was Fire in the Sky. That was one of his movies he used to like a lot.
Huh? Yeah, that's
Great
weird.
movie. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for these aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We've been the Eerie
Yep.
Cast. Please like and subscribe. And
With the thumbs up. Yep.
you want to close it out?
Yeah, I mean that's it then. Thanks everyone for watching and until next time.